we do the best we can. So,
Absolutely.
hey, so what I was telling everybody else earlier is supporting your local 615 community is about giving back to that community, right?
Yes.
And I know you're a big supporter of that.
Yes, absolutely.
So tell us why you are a big supporter of giving back to your 615 community.
Well, I moved to Nashville about 8 years ago and completely fell in love with the city. Started 615 Living, the Instagram page, about 6 years ago. I just found that I loved exploring Nashville. I met the greatest people here, met the greatest small business owners. So I came up with the name 615 Living, and I had no idea what I wanted to do with it. I would just go out on a Saturday and Sunday, meet people, take pictures of businesses, promote their items that they may have for sale, or their food or restaurants or anything like that. And it just kind of blew up and exploded. But that is my favorite thing to do, is be in Nashville, just touring the city. I like everyone else to know what to do, kind of what the things happening for the weekend are. And that's just kind of how it all started.
So when you say Nashville, do you mean just within Davidson County, or does that go beyond that?
Well, most of it is 615 Davidson County, but I do go beyond that as well. Murfreesboro, Franklin, Brentwood, Mount Juliet, kind of the surrounding 1 hour travel around the city.
All right. So what she's talking about, folks, is Davidson County is the metro part of Nashville, but we have surrounding counties outside of Nashville, but a lot of people still call it Nashville. So when she's talking about Mount Juliet, that's a different county, a different city. We got Lebanon. We still got Hendersonville up north. We got Donaldson, Goodlettsville, Donaldson. Donaldson's still part of Davidson County. Goodlettsville's its own county. That's part of Sumner County. Is that right?
Uh-huh.
All right. So when she said Franklin, that's part of Williamson County. So there's a lot of counties that surround the whole 615. So just so you know that. So Stephanie, tell us what got you into being a professional real estate agent.
Well, my career actually started off in the culinary world. I went to culinary school. I have a culinary degree, which a lot of people don't know that about me. 17 years in the restaurant business, working the 70 and 80-hour weeks for my entire life. And then once I decided I wanted to have children, I decided I could not do that, especially as a female. It's very hard in the restaurant industry to have children. So it's possible, but it's very hard. So my mom has been a real estate agent she's now a managing broker and actually does real estate courses, but for 25 years. And she encouraged me to do it. It's something that I always was interested in. And I loved Nashville so much. I love looking at homes. I would, on the weekends, just drive neighborhoods and look at neighborhoods. So I thought, well, that would be a good fit. So I got my license about 6 years ago, and didn't really know if I would like it at first. I kind of played 615 Living Instagram page in with it, just as like a little Nashville tour guide, and then ended up just really loving it. Just really loving the neighborhoods, and yeah.
All right. Tell us, because even though you're with a broker, you're still pretty much an independent business yourself.
Yes, I'm a 1099.
So what do you have to do to get licensed and be a professional in your field?
You have to take a 60-hour course to get to take your test with the state. So you can do that either in person with a real estate school, or you can do it online. I chose to do it online. I felt like I could work at a better pace myself as opposed to going to a nightly class. So you do that. Once you pass your test, then you have another 15 hours that you have to take after that before you can apply to work with an agency.
All right. So I know with 615 Living, you kind of branded that yourself.
Yes.
That's how I found you, because 615 Loco, we found each other. What do you do beyond the typical training to help people understand the communities around Nashville?
Well, the company I work for, Zeitlin Sotheby's, it is a global brand and a global company. They have an excellent training every single week, sometimes 2 to 3 times a week. You could not pay me to go to another company. They are so great. Everyone brainstorms every week. We keep up with what's going on in the market. There's everywhere from seasoned veterans of 30, 40 years to brand new agents coming on. So we're all in the market, all talking all the time, staying in constant communication. So with that training has been so excellent, with the market the way that it is right now, with it being a complete seller's market. I've won my last 4 multiple offer situations with my buyers because of the training that I do every week.
All right, so tell us right now, what is going on in the Nashville market, making it so freaking hot? It's a booming market in Nashville, right?
It is. A lot of it has to do with the fact we have the big companies moving here, Amazon moving here, Oracle moving here, Alliance Bernstein moved here from New York a couple years ago. Our company had the relocation for it. So it's just a really great place for the companies are moving to. So, they're moving, their employees, people are moving here for jobs. There's no state tax here, so that helps out as well. So people from California are moving here.
Yeah, a lot of people from California are moving here right now. I got a friend, and about 15 of his relatives are moving here. So I know you already talked to Jason.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So is this still a seller's market or is it a buyer's market? What is it right now?
Well, it's absolutely a seller's market at the moment. People are buying things sight unseen. Paying above asking. There's a lot of little things that we're doing to win offers right now, of doing a pass-fail inspection to where you don't ask for repairs or you waive the appraisal contingency. So it's definitely a seller's market, but it is doable, to get in there if you, number one, are working with the right agent that is up on the times and current with what's going on. It is definitely possible to get a house.
So let me ask you, what makes the right agent?
Well, I think that being super prepared going in, I sit down with my clients the very first time I meet with them, and I tell them open and honestly what the market is. I prepare them for, this is what we need to do if we want to get this house. There's no surprises of we get there and we're like, oh, you need to go above asking. They know going in what is expected. They are prepared before going in. They're pre-approved. They work with a good lender, which I have an excellent lender I work with, Shelter Mortgage. I highly recommend them. Every offer that I put in that my client is working with that lender, I can say they will call you, they will be in contact, they will tell you, and they will vouch for, the lending process with them. That way things aren't falling out with, financial contingencies or, losing the loans or anything like that. So being completely prepared and working with an agent that knows the market, knows what's going on, knows what area the client would be happy with. That's another thing, knowing the personality of the client and knowing different neighborhoods.
So let me ask you, a lot of times, do you deal with a lot of first-time buyers?
I really do, yes.
Okay, so what do first-time buyers need to know right off the bat?
Right off the bat, they need to go ahead and get pre-approved. You don't know what you can afford until you talk with a lender. So I always say the very first thing before we do anything else, talk to a lender. That way you can find out what your down payment will be, what are you approved for, or if there are things that you can do that can tweak your credit a little bit to where you would have a lower interest rate. The lender I was speaking about previously, they're able to go in and say, hey, if you were to pay off, this one credit card bill, we can get you this much better of a deal. So I say 100% go talk to a lender. And most people right now some people aren't even accepting appointments to see a home without a pre-approval letter. So I would say that, and a lot of people don't know too that you can put down 3% as a first-time home buyer, as opposed to what people think with the 20%.
So when you say a 3%, what do they have to do to qualify for that?
Just be a first-time home buyer. Yeah,
Okay.
and talk to the agent. And as long as their credit is where it needs to be, that they can qualify for the 3% down payment.
So should most people right now in the Nashville market be prepared to offer over asking?
It depends. Some neighborhoods are going for, right at asking, but just to be completely honest, most homes are going for at least asking price, maybe a little bit over. But depending on the neighborhood, some are going way over. But like I said, another thing is you just need to know the neighborhood and what it's going for.
So I know around this area, we have a lot of veterans.
Mm-hmm.
So what can you tell veterans and what they should expect?
Well, being a veteran, you can qualify for 100% financing with no down payment. So that would be something that you could talk to a lender with as well, but they do qualify for 100% with whatever lender they choose, but they don't have to put any down payment down.
So I'm a veteran myself. I know I did not have to pay mortgage insurance.
Right, no mortgage insurance. You don't have to pay for something like a termite inspection.
Yep.
That's something that the seller would have to do. Yeah, but no mortgage insurance.
So going beyond just veterans, what do most people expect when they hear closing costs? What are actual closing costs involved?
Well, closing cost is could be very tricky. There's title insurance, which a lot of people don't understand what that is. Title insurance is if someone were to claim that they owned your land or there's a lien on the land or anything like that. If you pay your title insurance, it's taken care of. There's attorney's fees for drawing up the closing papers. The prepaying the mortgage or the homeowners association, taxes, things like that. But your lender will be able to give you a breakdown of what your title or what your closing costs would be, an estimate. So it used to be several years ago that you could ask for the seller to pay part of the closing costs, but right now with the market, it's kind of the seller's market, and they're not really paying it at the moment.
So is it honest to ask about 50-50 on closing costs?
Honestly, I'd say about 75-25.
Okay.
Yeah, most sellers know that it's in their hands right now to get what they want, and
So
they know that they don't have to.
When I bought my place, I knew I asked for about 50-50, and I went a little bit up on the cost of the home.
Yes.
To adjust for that closing cost.
Yes.
Is that normal?
Yes. Yeah, you can totally do that. So say that you're going to have $10,000 in closing cost. You need to pay all of the closing cost. You can offer $10,000 over for the home, and then that would take care of the closing cost. But you have to worry about homes appraising. So you have to be a little careful with doing that because you don't want to go over the price of appraisal.
All right. So just for first-time home buyers, what kind of insurance would they expect to have on a new home?
Well, you have to have your homeowner's insurance. If you don't pay the 20% down, you have mortgage insurance, which depending on the cost of the home, it varies. But until you pay your mortgage down to 20%, you will have, possibly a couple $100 extra on your mortgage every month from that.
Okay.
And, flood insurance, it all varies with different neighborhoods and different areas. But
so say somebody's coming in new to the state, new to Nashville area. How do you find the perfect community living area for them? What do you ask them?
Well, what kind of life do they want? Do they want, something that their kids can go into a neighborhood with other kids and play? Or are they looking for something that they could walk to all the restaurants? They don't have to really necessarily use their car very often. Are they looking to be next to like lots of shopping? What kind of lifestyle do they want? Because I truly feel like Nashville is really a bunch of little tiny cities that make up a big city. Like East Nashville is completely different than Green Hills. So it just depends on, where they came from, what they want their lifestyle to look like.
Where are you seeing most people coming from right now?
I'm seeing most people come from California. Yeah, I sold a house a couple weeks ago to a couple from Colorado. I've sold a house to someone from New York, but a lot of people coming from California right now.
So do you think because Middle Tennessee and Nashville is an economic hub is why most people are coming here right now?
There's jobs, yeah.
Yeah.
There's jobs. The job market is great. You know, a lot of people are drawn to the no state tax. It's just kind of the it city right now.
Well, plus people in California are selling their homes for about 3 times more than what we pay here, right?
A lot of that is driving the market prices up, honestly, right now, because if they're selling their homes, which, you know, to have $1 million home in California was not that, you know, that big of a deal. Having one here is a bigger of a deal. So they're selling their homes. They're coming here. They're waiving the appraisal. They don't care. They're paying over because they're making, you know, a ton of money on theirs. And they come in here and they're like, oh, well, I can buy the exact same house for, you know, less than half the price.
Correct. And the taxes are a lot lower. So
taxes are way lower. Yes.
Yeah. So I know I talked to you about my friend Jason out in California. You know, he sold his condo out there. I think it was 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath for about $400,000. So most people would not pay that much for a 2-bedroom or 2.5 bath condo here, right?
Well, it depends on where you are. If you're in the Gulch, yes, you would pay more than that.
Right.
But yeah, it depends on exactly where you are.
So the Gulch, just so everybody knows, the Gulch used to be a lot of train tracks. It wasn't nothing. In about 2005, well, maybe a little bit after that, 2009, right?
Yeah,
that's when the Gulch started getting developed.
Yeah.
And then we had that downturn. We had that downturn for a little bit, and then it just boomed after that. So
it's booming right now.
Yeah, the Gulch is like spread beyond that.
Like Nashville Yard.
Yeah, it's down about 12th and Porter and going on beyond that. So
yes.
Yep. So Stephanie, tell us anything else about the Nashville market you think people need to know about right now.
Well, I mean, truthfully, I say that it's a seller's market, but things are slowing down a little bit. I'm seeing some price reductions on homes when I wasn't seeing that before. I'm seeing things stay on the market longer than it was before. So inventory is catching up a little bit with us right now. So it's not, you know, a lot of people are afraid to buy right now or afraid to even get the process going, but it is possible. My clients that I had from Colorado, they moved here. We looked at one house and we got it. So it is possible, you know, to buy a house. So you don't be afraid to get the process started because it is slowing down a little bit.
You just went through the new home situation yourself, right?
Yes. I just bought a house and we moved in Monday, and we're still moving in.
I'll tell you what, everybody, I was so excited when she said, I'm moving the week that you're going to have me on the show. And I'm like, let's see what happens here. So, you know, that shows you the commitment of a real realtor when they're willing to still do a show when they're in the middle of a move. So,
and I have a 1, 2, and 4-year-old. So.
A 1, 2, and 4-year-old right there, though.
Yeah.
So we appreciate everything that you're doing, Stephanie. So anything else we need to know right now about the Nashville market? Anything that you want to share with anybody beyond Nashville right now?
Well, I'll say one more thing. You know, people, you asked about having to pay over asking. If you pay over asking on a house right now, within 6 months, it's going to be what you paid for it. So the market is only getting stronger. Everything's appreciating. So the fear of paying a little over asking, it's going to catch back up with you. So, you know, I just don't want anyone to be afraid that, yes, it is a seller's market, but you buy a home and you're going to have instant equity.
So you're not saying you're not going to be too much upside down on a home right now.
You're very quickly not going to be at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So most everybody within 5 years, what is the forecast? What do you see the forecast for the Nashville market right now?
Well, I mean, it's impossible to know exactly what's going to happen, but I don't see us slowing down at all with all the companies, you know, Oracle moving here with, as many jobs as they're moving in the next couple years, and as many companies that we hear weekly that are moving here, it's just getting stronger and stronger.
I agree. I 100% agree. All right, Stephanie, we're going to step away from the whole real estate thing. I know you got the whole 615 living. Tell us, who do you like supporting that's local in the 615 right now? And don't say me, but anybody else.
I have a girl that I met through Instagram. Her name is Courtney Lemons, and she does the coolest watercolors, the little illustration sketches that are kind of cartoonish. And I cannot remember what she told me that she calls them, but Courtney Lemons Designs is her name. And she has been doing the greatest gifts for me. Like, I have had people cry over them. I've had people say that it's the best gift they've ever received. She can personalize things, but she started her business during the pandemic from her home. And I have never actually met her in person, but I consider her one of my friends. We talk every couple of days, but she is great. And her business is starting to explode now because of how personalized of things that she's done. So that's my favorite person to support right now.
So when you say gifts, these are for people you've closed on a home for, right?
Yeah, both personal and home closes. So I had one client a few months ago that moved here from Texas, and every house we looked at, he wanted to see if it was good for his dog. That's all he was worried about. Is it good for my dog? Is it good for my dog? So I had her do a picture.
I take it he didn't have a wife, right?
No, he's 28.
Okay, he just had a dog. Okay,
so he had his dog.
Worried about the dog.
Worried about the dog. So I got a picture of him and his dog, and I got a picture of the house, and she put them together and had a picture of him and the dog in front of the house, and he just thought it was the coolest thing. So I've had her do things like that, and I've also had her do, I have a cousin that doesn't ever need anything. Every time you give her something, it's, she's already got it. But I had her do a watercolor of her with her mother who had passed, and it was the most beautiful thing. And she cried and thought it was, the best thing that she'd ever received. So just personalized gifts for home closings, just anything you want her to do. She's doing stickers, all kinds of stuff.
I know, I just recently followed her, so I appreciate you telling me about her.
Yeah, she's great.
So what about going out and eating? What are some places you like to go to?
Well, one of my favorites, and this is probably going to be realized because I have kids, but Boom Boz in East Nashville is one of my absolute favorite places to go. They have a huge playground that's very safe, honestly, but it's a huge playground. They have outdoor seating. They have the best pizza. But I can go and let my kids run around on the playground. I can actually sit down and eat or have a conversation with a friend because there's something to do. That's one of my places I like. I also like the Sutler on 8th Avenue. They have a really good banjo brunch.
What's the banjo brunch?
They have people playing banjos.
Yeah. Welcome to Nashville, y'all.
Yeah, they have a banjo brunch. That's a good place. Etch is another place. They have really, really good seafood there. I could go on and on about restaurants.
Oh, let's say without the kids, you got a babysitter, and you and your husband, or I don't know what your situation is.
My husband, yeah.
Okay, you and your husband. Where do you two like to go?
I love Stateside Kitchen in the Dream Hotel. That is over in Printer's Alley. Printer's Alley is such a cool little place to go to right now. There's Jane's Hideaway. So you can go have dinner there, and then there's multiple places that you can go afterwards. But Stateside Kitchen and Dream Hotel is fantastic.
All right. So what I want all of you to hear is this lady knows Nashville. She knows the surrounding areas. So if you really need to find a real estate agent that knows the communities, knows where you would fit in, Stephanie is somebody you need to reach out to. So make sure you reach out to her. I know everything's in the show notes, so make sure you reach out to Stephanie Aycock, and because she definitely knows the surrounding community. She lives here, she goes out here, her kids live here, and what I'm saying is, she is part of the community. So how else would you know where to live than what she she can offer you right now. So
Thank you.
that's all I got to say about that. So Stephanie, anything else you want to add?
I think I've said enough.
Well, I appreciate you being on the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And you know what? I really want to have you back because I think there's a lot of other topics we can talk about in the real estate market.
Absolutely. And it changes so often. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
And we will talk beyond this because I think there's so much that we can cover, and people need to know about, be educated on the real estate market in Nashville. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, folks. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. And I apologize about my mic being muted at the beginning. So what I will say is welcome to 615 Local Live. And thank you for joining us. I'm Dan Shaw, and I'm streaming out of Pleasant View, Tennessee. So what 615 is all about, we are, of course, the area code in 14 counties in Middle Tennessee. 615 is a local community, local businesses in Robertson to Rutherford County, Dixon to DeKalb County, and all areas in between. 615 Local is all about supporting local businesses where you live, and throughout 615, we educate and bring awareness to the public and 615 local businesses. Go check out our 615 local business partners at 615local.co and see what they have to offer. 615 local businesses can currently sign up for our 615 local business community for a one-time fee. Right now, it's a one-time fee for only $90. And that means for the life of the Active Directory. So what you get there is every time when you sign up, it's $99 for the life of it. So you never have to pay anything again. So go ahead and do that. And that's going to end soon. All I got to say is that's going to end very, very soon. So we hope you will do that and join us and be in part of the 615 local community. I want to thank my guest, Stephanie Aycock from Zeitlin Sotheby's. You know what? If you're looking for a home right now and you want to know where to live, there's nobody better than looking to her to find that right community for you and your kids, or you and your wife, or you and your significant other, whatever that might be, because she knows these areas. Because I've asked her questions before, and I was surprised at some of the answers I got. Like, what's going to be in the West Franklin? Mount Juliet. Mount Juliet's blowing up right now. So if you want to be part of that, look up Stephanie Aycock, Zeitlin Sotheby's, give her a call, reach out to her on email, Instagram, 615 Living, and she'll take care of you, I promise. All right, everybody, have a good night. This is 615 Local Live. My name's Dan Shaw. You guys have a good night.